And welcome to True Blue Politics Daily Podcast with Karen and Anita. And it is May 13th, 2026. And we have
That's right.
a lot to talk about. Anita, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm making it. I'm getting by every day. It's a struggle.
It is a
But I don't
struggle.
want to be depressing. Okay. Let's just not be depressing.
No, I think it's important because I don't think that we're the only ones that are feeling,
No, we aren't.
anxiety about it. And I think it's important to, talk about it. And, I mean, I don't feel hopeless. I don't.
Well, that's why
Um,
we wanted, that's kind of why
yeah.
I wanted to talk about the things we can do if we take back the House, if we take back well, at least the House, but
hmm
hopefully the Senate too. And then, win back the White House in 2028.
And one of the things that I like to say when I'm talking about taking back the House and the Senate, is we need to impress upon people that we have to have such turnout that Democrats can not only get a majority, but get a filibuster-proof majority.
We have to. I heard something like Heather Cox Richardson. She was talking about how we have to outperform Republicans by like 4 points just to
hmm
win the House now
Yeah,
because of all the shenanigans, and
yeah.
especially with this overturning of basically that Voting Rights Act and what they're
hmm
doing in Alabama and Tennessee. Now, by the way, South Carolina has turned it down. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do the
Okay.
gerrymandering. So that's good news.
That is good news. Because I think that what, Republicans need to understand is that, just like with what they did in Texas and then
Hmm.
how California responded to it, you're
That's right.
dealing with a different Democratic Party. Like we have seen, you and I have seen who the Republican Party has been for a long time. And, yeah, there are definitely some Democrats that have been operating on this idea that, these people are operating in good faith and that they're their friends or their, colleagues across the aisle. We've seen who these people are for a long time, but I think that what Republicans may be waking up to is that this is a different Democratic Party and a different Democratic base. We're not okay with.
Republicans will do anything they can. They will cheat, they will steal,
hmm
they will do whatever they can to stay in power because you know what they believe? They
hmm
believe their vision of America is the right way, the only way. They really
hmm
believe in that.
Yeah,
And that and even though all of their ideas are failures, they have been
crap.
throughout history. Yeah,
hmm
they're crap. Um, they truly believe that. And
hmm
so they think that all's fair. They think the ends justify the means. So,
hmm
and we've always been like trying to play by the rules, right? And I mean, they lie about everything. They lie about Democrats. They lie about their own policies. They lie about everything.
Yep.
They lie. They're still lying about the election. Listen to those people that are being nominated for different positions, even judges,
hmm
who will not
hmm
admit that Donald Trump lost the election.
They refuse to answer the question.
Yeah.
Well,
They,
Joe Biden was,
well, he was
sworn
a
in as president, so
president. Yeah,
but
we
that's
all
not
know.
answering the question. And I like the fact that, Democrats when they're asking these questions, they're not letting them,
Mm-mm.
off on that, that kind of bullshit, non-answer.
No, and it's kind of it really it's a good question, and a lot of them will go, well, why should I? You know what? I'm just nominated for a judge. Well, yeah, we need to know if you're
Yeah,
going to stand up, if you're going to be if you're going to be neutral on these decisions that you're making,
right.
or you're going to be afraid that you're going to upset the president or the Republicans.
hmm
So it's an important question.
Absolutely. 100%. So, our former Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, who I love, and I know you love him,
Oh, I do. I love
um,
people to judge. Yeah.
he had some thoughts. So I'm going to go ahead. Here's what Democrats need to do when um,
If we take back the
if
House
we take back the House. And yes, so I'm going to go ahead.
and
I'm going to
possibly the Senate.
and hopefully the Senate. And I think we
Yeah,
can do it.
I think we
Oh,
can do it too.
I do too. Okay, here we go. That's not coming through, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay. And why not? This is
Did
the
you enlarge
question.
it?
I did. So let me do something different here. Hold on. Bear with me. Please, go ahead, Anita. Say
Rutabaga,
something
rutabaga,
else.
rutabaga. Oh, I'll say something really smart. Okay, what am I going to
Please, would
say?
you? Would you?
I was going to talk about what I don't know what else to talk about. We're
That's
talking
okay.
about
Let me try it again. Let's see.
okay.
Nope, it's still not doing it, and I
Hmm.
don't know why. So please. So, yeah, keep talking. Something
Um,
is not right here.
we can talk about what. Let's talk about what's happening in Texas. Did you see that the thing on Jen Psaki? She was talking about she had Gina Hinojosa, who's running for governor
Mhm.
of in Texas against Greg Abbott in
Mhm.
Texas.
Okay.
And she was talking about how the Republicans, because their primary runoff is at the end of this month, and
Mhm.
they are just beating the crap out of each other. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, Ken Paxton's putting out these ads about Cornyn. He's been in the Senate for 40 something years. And what has he got? What has he ever brought back to Texas? What has he ever done? Nobody can
Mhm.
name anything. He's just an
No.
establishment rhino, blah, blah, blah.
Blah
And
blah
then,
blah.
of course, Cornyn is putting out these stuff talking about, oh, Ken Paxton's had an affair on his wife and had a special secret phone, and
Mm.
he's having an affair with all these other women. And I mean, just really
Ooh.
below the belt
Wow.
crap. But
Yeah.
it's hilarious because then James Tallarico's over there with Barack Obama came to Austin and
Hmm.
met with him and Gina Hinojosa, and they did a fundraiser. So, he's consolidating the Democratic base. And
Yeah.
right now, only like 60% of Republicans in the Republican base that are voting for John Cornyn said they'll vote for Ken Paxton. And it's about
Okay.
62% of Ken Paxton voters that say they will vote for John Cornyn. So, and over 80% of all Democrats have said they're going to vote for James Tellerico.
Ooh.
So it's not, when we were talking about taking the Senate, I was thinking Alaska because Alaska's another one, but
Hmm.
Texas is looking pretty good.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
That's very possible. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to try this again.
Okay.
Sorry for the issues here. Hold on.
My second greatest fear for my party is if we win in November, that we forget that a return to the prior status quo is not the right answer either. What we need is a series of clean bills, legislative projects that will deliver higher wages, that will deliver universal health insurance coverage, that will deliver things like paid family leave, all of which, by the way, are a set of things that command 2-to-1 support. So in a notionally 50-50 country, we actually have a great number of supermajority policies that, importantly, the center and the center left and the left agree on, and that the right is against. Clarifying battles around that, I think, are going to be very important in government, because we will either manage to get our way, because even the Republicans can't stop it, or we will make clear who's for and who's against things going into 2028. My second
Oh,
Yes.
okay. The problem I have with that is if we manage to get those things passed, who's
Hmm.
going to get credit for that
Right.
when Donald Trump signs them? Because he will sign them because he doesn't,
Oh, of course.
yeah, he's not ideologically opposed to any of that. He just doesn't give a
No.
shit about anything.
No.
I don't think we're going to manage to get them passed. But the truth is, Democrats are always doing these great things, and then the
Hmm.
Republican takes the
Yep,
credit for it.
they do.
So if we want to win 2028, we're going to have to start playing dirty.
Yes, we will.
I mean, I want to have all those things, but I want them
Yes.
done by Democrats so that people
Yeah,
understand who really is supportive of those issues
that's right.
and
That's
who's
right.
bringing you
And
that stuff.
and you had brought up a really good point that, even if we do take back, the majority, I mean, Donald Trump is going to
Yeah,
veto everything.
right. We'd have to have veto, super
Proof
majorities to,
majority. Yeah, right.
yeah.
And so, we were talking about, so like with democratic messaging, and I had raised this idea that because of that, dynamic, that Donald Trump is not going to, approve anything that Democrats do.
No, he
That
doesn't want, go ahead.
right. That, Democrats, and I think that they should be doing this even now, and like just talking about it, like screaming from the tops of the mountains, that they're putting forth pieces of legislation like the Protect the Children Act, where they put something out there, to fight against child sex trafficking. And, if you're a public official, public servant that are trying to run for office, you cannot run for office if, you're under investigation or if you are criminally indicted for child sex
I
trafficking.
love that idea. Let me tell you something. Why? Because Donald Trump would have to sign that.
That's right. And right. And right now, even right
Mhm.
now, if they put it out there, watch Republicans not put it up to a vote. And if
Uh,
they did put it up to a vote
Yeah.
and didn't
Well,
vote for it, do you know what I mean?
it,
Like, and
it
at
would be
first
like
I
the
thought that they could
it-
pack it with like other things, like maybe assault weapons ban. But no, I think it needs to be a clean bill, very, very clear language.
it would be like the Epstein bill, okay?
Yeah.
Where the Republicans were forced to vote for it
Yep.
because it just would have looked too bad. Okay.
Yeah, but have it where there's legislation in there that would trap some of these, these Republicans and Donald Trump.
I think we should put up a bill that says you cannot run for office if you have been either civilly or criminally found either liable or guilty of sexual misconduct,
Yes.
and let them sign that. And try to oppose that. You would look really bad.
Yeah.
So
Sure would. It sure would.
And it would point out that
but
these people are supporting somebody who's an adjudicated rapist.
Right. And look at those things that, like the QAnon, all of the things that they were saying,
Mm-hmm.
and, take some of take some of the stuff that, the reasons that they say that they were voting for, or against Democrats and for Republicans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But-
You know what I mean? Like that. Like, and I'm saying specifically, the fact that Donald Trump ran on releasing
Protecting the
Epstein
children.
files
No,
and
don't you
protecting
remember
the children.
hashtag
Mhm.
protect the children or hashtag
Yes.
save the children?
Right. So that's what it should be. Save the Children Act.
Mm-hmm. Save the children. Yeah.
Right. Like use their verbiage, use their terminology, and just put this for, and every single Democrat that, needs to be out there daily talking about the fact that, look, we wrote this bill and, even, something like, maybe you could get somebody like, what's his face, Massey.
You would get somebody like Massey, Lauren Boebert, probably. Yep. You would get some of the women for sure.
Yeah.
What's her name? That crazy woman from South Carolina.
Mace.
Nancy Mace.
Nancy Mace. Yep.
So yeah, definitely. But and the people that were, that's why I think that we should specifically say you cannot run for office if you've been found liable for rape,
right,
or for
criminal or
sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, what he did.
Right. Exactly.
So exactly. I mean, there's so many things we could do, but we have to learn. The problem is Democrats don't like to play those games. And I listen to Pete Buttigieg, and he's talking about all these serious things that we need to do. Yeah. And it's true. We need to do those. It is true. But this is politics is a game of I don't know. It's storytelling and
mm-hmm.
And we have to learn to do that. We have to learn to get to people's emotions.
And to keep putting out legislation to restore voting rights.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. But yeah. And
do they have a chance at this point? No, but they need to keep putting it out there, because that is, in my opinion, my feelings are that is a part of messaging too.
It's funny how now, you see that the approval for Democrats is so low.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people seem to think, well, Democrats just aren't doing anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard because we don't have any power. We're not able to put up bills. They can, we can try to put up bills. We can introduce them, but that doesn't mean that Mike Johnson, most likely, they'll never see the light of day, right?
Right, but you need to talk about how you're doing it, and Mike Johnson is not putting it out for a vote.
Here's the problem is that we do not have that kind of messaging. We need to find a way to be, because we don't have the megaphone that they have with Fox News. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have even MS Now. They don't sit there like Fox News. They have the narrative set in the beginning of the day, and you will see show after show. everybody is talking about the same thing, saying
Mhm.
the same type of things. And
Mhm.
this gets drilled into these people, right?
Mhm.
And Democrats, we do not have that. MS
No,
Now
we
is
we
not going
don't,
to do
but we
that.
do have. But look, I mean, and this we saw this at the DNC. We do have an army of influencers,
Yeah,
and you
a
know,
smaller army.
a smaller army, but we do, and and the fact that there have been some cracks in the MAGA influencer,
Oh, they're having a
community.
civil war. Yeah.
Right. I mean, so there is that opportunity as well, but
Hmm.
because they were the ones that were talking about the Epstein stuff too, right?
I
So
I
I
think that,
feel like there is a way that if we utilize that and then, you share it on social media, we have to try everything. And I
I
know,
think,
and I know that it's not an equal thing because of Fox News. And I know that it's like 95+% of our mainstream or legacy media bought and paid for by right wingers. But we have to just use
but
every tool in our
I
toolbox.
I think the best way, honestly, is to continue to drive those wedges in the right wing influencer
Hmm.
camp,
Hmm.
like by things about the War Powers Act, that type of stuff,
Hmm.
trying to stop this war in Iran, constantly talking about those type of things that we
Right.
know are going to stop funding Israel, make
Yeah.
that a
Here's
priority.
well here here's something too. Like, and I keep going, I'm gonna go back to, yes, all of that, but I'm gonna go back to the Save the Children or Protect the Children
Well, that's
Act.
another one though. That's
Right. But
another
that,
wedge.
yeah. And so on those, the MAGA influencer, the what do you call them? The bros, the
The
broadcasters,
broadcasters, yeah.
right? That, people like Ro Khanna and Massey go
Uh-huh.
on together to talk about this defend the children or Save the
Hmm.
Children Act, you know?
And they'll talk about the stuff about Iran too. Those, but both of
Mm-hmm.
those guys are,
Mm-hmm.
talking about those issues. So these are things, whatever we can find that drives a wedge. Because honestly, what's happening now in the right is what
Mm-hmm.
happened on the left before the election, because there was this Gaza thing, and a
Yeah.
lot of people, on the left stayed home
Or
because they
voted for Jill
or
Stein,
voted for Jill Stein or whatever, decided they could not vote for Kamala Harris because of the Israel situation, and there
even though she
it's
was calling for a ceasefire. Okay.
even though we were legally obligated to keep funding Israel, but whatever. Okay, but in this case, it's actually we are allied with Israel attacking Iran. This is so clear cut, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's causing problems on the right, just like it
Yep.
caused problems on the left, even more so, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're going to find out. Netanyahu thought, this was going to help him, electing. This helped him get Trump elected, but it's also
Mm-hmm.
coming back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's some positive things that are happening even since the bullshit that the Supreme Court did and these, different red states are doing to strip representation against Black Americans. So this was from Political Head HQ. So the Political HQ front on Twitter. Breaking: three Democratic backed candidates in West Virginia have defeated Republican incumbents. Two of the victories came in Division 1 and Division 2 of the West Virginia Supreme Court, and the third came on the West Virginia Court of Appeals.
That is so big in
That
West
is,
Virginia.
mm-hmm.
That is the reddest state, one of the reddest states, if not the reddest state in the country. So
Yeah,
I'm telling you, this may, what was it that Johnny Banana was talking about? It's a blue wave a wave election.
wave election.
It's going to
Yeah,
be, it's just going to, it's not the same thing. They're
right.
fighting,
It's a different animal. Yeah,
yeah. So I don't think it's going to matter how much they try to gerrymander.
yeah.
And a lot of people, one of the things, oh my God, that bothered me because I was listening to Heather. I keep bringing her up because I was listening to her this
Because
morning,
she's awesome. Yep.
and she is awesome. That's right. And we should bring her up as much as possible. But anyway, she was talking about these people that, because a lot of people listen to her that
Mm-hmm.
are not enmeshed in politics, okay, like we are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so they're asking her, they're afraid, well, am I going to be able to vote now? What is this gerrymandering thing? They don't understand it. A lot of
Mhm.
people, we just assume that everybody understands what we're talking about when we talk about gerrymandering. And
Mhm.
these people think that they're going to be stopped from voting. And she was
Yeah.
explaining to them what gerrymandering was and how it originated and how what it is it's not you'll still be able to vote. When they
Mhm.
talk about disenfranchising people, that's what confuses people
Mhm.
because what they're doing is they're diluting their voting power. They're making it to where their vote won't count because the people they want to represent them will not be representing them.
Mhm. Here's something here. I want to see this might be here.
But you still have to vote. Everybody vote because
Yes.
yes,
We're in
very
really
important.
Here. Oops, sorry. Here, I just saw this. This is from 12 hours ago. Hold on. Let me just play this because I think it could be.
recognize that we're in really deep doo-doo, but that looks very much like the kinds of worlds that were being imposed on Americans in the past, that they rose up and overcame to create a much more just, prosperous, and fair democracy. And that's our job going forward. So, yes, you should register to vote. Yes, you should vote, and make sure your registrations are accurate going forward. Yes, you should stay abreast of the issues, state, local, and national. Yes, you should print out those ballots and decide how you want to vote. All of those things are true, but above all, yes, you must continue to speak up over this long, hot summer with your voices, with calls to legislators, with attending meetings, with protesting in the streets. Now is our time. And what you don't want to do is wake up the day after the election and say, oh, darn it, I wish I had done more. I look at
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She repeats that often.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about just the importance and how, we've been here before. We have
Mm-hmm.
overcome it. And
And I
that's what's
think that
important.
that's the thing. Yeah, I
And it's
know.
an
And
opportunity. She always
it
talks about
is.
how it's an opportunity for us to rebuild better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and and look, I struggle to think it's just like, maybe not Republicans, but if you're an independent voter, if you're a voter who votes, in the Democratic Party, considers yourself a Democrat or an independent, whatever. You, anybody that is looking at what happened with the Supreme Court and what they're doing in southern states, that is jarring. That is alarming what they are doing. And anybody that looks at that, you cannot think that that is fair. You know, taking away the voices, taking away the votes and representation from a portion of our country, and it's not fair. And we have to talk about how unfair and unjust that is.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. And also why it was so important. Why that the Voting Rights Act was so important. And Heather talks about that too, and about how she talked about Fannie Lou Hamer and how she was voting. She was a sharecropper
Mm-hmm.
who voted, and she was told by I guess the owner of the property that she needed to stop doing that because he was going to have to it was upsetting people and he was going to have to kick her off her land, stop her from sharecropping. And she said, fuck that. And she continued to do it. And he did. He kicked her off.
Mm.
And she got the crap beat out of her to almost to where she died. She was never the same. And then she spoke out a lot. And I don't remember the full story, but she was very instrumental in raising awareness and why we ended up having the Voting Rights Act
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
Mississippi, because of places like Mississippi that would just, I talked, it's 40% Black and they have one representative.
Right. Yeah, we spoke about it yesterday. If you didn't catch it, our daily yesterday, please go back and take a listen and like and share it, everybody. But yeah, we talked about all of this. Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't learn that history. We don't learn it enough.
No. Well, we definitely don't learn it enough.
What do you
I
think
mean,
John Lewis was beaten about? I
right.
mean, Martin Luther King Jr., all of those things. That's what that was about.
Yeah. And, we say it all the time for the largest voting bloc in this country to be non-voters. I mean, check your bank account, look at, what demographic you belong to. If you're not a rich, white, wealthy, landowning, Christian male,
Hmm.
right? You are not, you have had, we all, if you don't fit into that category, you had to fight. Somebody had to fight for your right to vote.
Yeah. Originally, it was just white male
It was
landowners.
landowners. Yeah.
And then, of course, and then they allowed men. I can't remember the whole story. It was right after the Revolutionary War.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, um, women didn't
Black,
even get the vote till
black
1920.
men. And then, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that is the thing that it completely gets lost. And you talk about the things that we never heard about. It's because of the I mean our curriculum, and another reason why we need a national standard for curriculum, and why history is so important. But teaching history that is not whitewashed, teaching all American history, and there's so much Black history in this country that has never been taught.
You mean it
I'm
isn't
and
covered
even
in
the
the
most
February Black History Month? Isn't
yeah,
enough?
yeah, it shouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. And we say this all the time. It shouldn't be just one month. It should be American history. There should be a
Yeah.
special curriculum around Black American history. And it should be
Yeah.
year round, and it should not, and it should include, I mean, I have a textbook, oh gosh, Life Upon These Shores by oh my gosh, Dr. Gates. And it's fantastic. And it has so much Black history. I mean, we talked about the Tulsa massacre. We never learned about it.
No, most people don't. I mean, I didn't.
Right.
But
No.
yeah, no, I agree. But that is actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about as far as like if we ever get control of the White House, one of the things I
Hmm.
think we should do is have a national standard for
Hmm.
education and civics, first of all. I think should be
Hmm.
taught for a full year. And I do think Black history
Hmm.
should be a full year.
Hmm.
Just like in Texas, we have Texas history. Can you believe
Women's
that?
history.
Women's history, not just white male. As a matter of fact, if you the history I was taught, you think the only people that really were involved in
Hmm.
American history were white men, and occasionally
Right.
you'd hear about Harriet Tubman, or
Sure. They were usually like in this, in the
they
margins,
were
right? They were
footnotes.
like little,
Yeah.
yeah, cliff note. Yep.
So anyway, and I wanted to talk about some more of the things that we should do
Hmm.
if we do take the White House, and that was one of them. We
First
definitely,
order. First order
yeah,
of
and
business.
people, you know what, this country, seriously, this is going to be a battle.
Hmm.
um, because remember how they react when I can't remember what it was. Even like there was some sort of standardized thing that the teachers unions wanted, and the right would just go crazy. They do not want Americans
To be
educated
educated.
on.
No.
They want the real
Republicans do
history.
not. Republicans do not. They love when Donald Trump said he loves the poorly educated,
He meant it.
that's what he means. And the
Yeah,
Republican Party has been doing like that is one of their number one priorities is defunding education.
that's right.
And
Keeping us
we leave
stupid.
it to leave it to state, the states, whatever. There needs to be a national standard.
Oh
Anything
yeah.
with, and I've said this, and I know, anything that has to do with civil rights, civil liberties, and that it,
Hmm.
should be nationally.
Well, we have to have a better understanding of actually what the Constitution was and how it was formed,
Hmm.
and then go on and also talk about the Black history and how much that played a part in American history,
Hmm.
women, and all of that needs to be
Hmm.
incorporated in it.
Yeah.
But people don't even understand the Constitution.
Right. And the fact that it's amendable and
Yeah,
that, you know,
that's what I mean.
to,
All of the Constitution, and I'm not talking
yes,
about just the Bill of Rights or whatever,
right,
the
right,
Second Amendment, but
right,
just all of the Constitution, and but I mean, and also, the Civil War. We aren't taught enough about the Civil War,
right.
especially if you live in the South.
You mean the War of Northern
More
Aggression?
for Northern aggression. There
Right.
wasn't thought about slavery, okay, guys?
Yeah. No, it was
No, it
states'
wasn't about
rights.
that. Yeah, it
States'
was
rights.
states' rights.
Hmm.
So, some other things I was thinking about, and we were talking about before that we need to do if we were to take the White House again, and hopefully have the House and the Senate
Hmm.
in 2028,
Filibuster proof.
2029.
Get rid of the
Well,
filibuster.
no, first we need to reform the Supreme Court,
Yes.
because anything that we try to do, if
But we
af-
need a filibuster proof majority, correct?
we need a filibuster, not to reform the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Supreme Court can be done. I guess that's true. We probably, because I
think we
don't
do.
know.
I
Because
think we need to get rid of the filibuster. We
we
need to
used
get
to
a
reform.
filibuster. Yeah.
Okay.
We
We used-
need to get enough Democrats in. Filibuster proof majority. That means everybody, 80%. Hungary did it, we can do it. 80% voter turnout. Vote for Democrats. Get the majority, and then.
and think big. And that's the problem I have with some of the stuff, like even with Pete Buttigieg.
Mhm.
We have to start thinking big. We cannot think small. This
Mhm.
country is going to need a lot of work, but we need to, yes, get rid of the filibuster. And that means everybody that you elect, that we elect, we have to demand for the Senate that they agree that they're going to get rid of the filibuster. We cannot allow people like Kirsten Sinema or these people to get in the way.
Nope.
Getting rid of the filibuster, reform the Supreme Court.
What
Because
does that look
the
like?
Well, we don't know. We're going to have to look at that. And I know Paul talked about having a revolving majority or of Supreme Court justices that decide on each case. There'll be different Supreme Court justices deciding a case,
Mhm.
and it'll be a larger court, of course.
Mhm.
At least 13, right?
At least 13 because
least
there are
13.
13 circuit
There are 13
courts.
circuit courts. So
Mhm.
we need to do that. Of course, we talked about education. We need to have some sort of national standard for
Mhm.
education.
Mhm.
We need a child tax credit. That is so important, because in the child tax credit that we had under that Biden passed in the what was it, what was the bill that he passed that with, the one that the COVID relief, right?
Mhm.
And the COVID relief package, and there was no means testing. Okay, so, and that's important, because that means that more people support it, when it's
Mhm.
not just those people, when they can't just point and say, oh well, that's just for those people or whatever. Not that
Mhm.
that's fair. Okay, I'm just saying, if we want popular support for these things. The
Mhm.
child tax credit, the what was universal health care,
Mhm.
paid family leave, big things.
Mhm.
And if we don't have a filibuster, we can pass these things.
Yes. And so that's on the legislative side. And then what about things that we need to do to safeguard
Well,
against
here's another thing I think we
the
need to do.
corruption?
Well,
Mhm.
we need to make give DC statehood and Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
and that'll make the Senate have a more Democrats in it, actually, because
Mhm.
it'll be. I mean, Wyoming. It's not really fair that Wyoming has 2 senators and California
Mhm.
has 2 senators.
Right.
So we need to include more senators from places that we know will be Democratic leaning, and that Republicans do that.
Mhm.
Are you kidding? If they thought they were going to be Republican,
Right.
they'll
And
be
the
in a
thing of it
second.
is, it's not really unfair because we're basing it off of populations.
We're
So
also,
when Democrats in this country are extremely underrepresented
yeah,
because of
yeah,
the two
Senate.
Senate, yeah, in the Senate.
And anyway, so yeah, that, and to make it more democratic, I think, of course, we have to pass a voting rights bill. We had the John Lewis, and what was the other one? The American. There was another voting rights bill that Democrats tried to pass, but they couldn't get it through because Kirsten Sinema
Mhm.
and Joe Manchin wouldn't get rid of the filibuster. Remember?
Right.
So those things include, public funding for elections, for campaigns. Okay, if you meet the criteria,
Mhm.
we have to get rid of outside. Get rid of Citizens United, basically.
Mhm.
What was some other things that we talked about? besides public funding, making it easier to vote. We have to overcome this horrible, dismantling of the Voting Rights Act. Maybe pass another Voting Rights Act. Maybe
Yeah.
that's exactly what we have to do, is pass another Voting Rights Act.
Yeah, let's see. Cinema Stand and its ripple effect on women's rights. Let me see. This is the League of Women Voters. Okay. Oop. Hold on one second. Got these little pop-ups. Some women, okay, so this is from January 21st, 2022. Some women's organizations picked up the mantle of voting rights legislation this week when they pulled support for Senator Kirsten Sinema, an Arizona Democrat who voted with Republicans on Wednesday to reject a change to the filibuster and thus effectively kill the Democrats' bill expanding voting rights. Let me see if I can.
We
see
need to
what the name
ban
of it was.
gerrymandering.
Yeah.
We need to ban gerrymandering. There's so many things we need to do. We
Mhm.
probably should increase the House of Representatives. Well, that has
Mhm.
not increased. The amount of representatives we have has not
Mhm.
increased in I don't know how many years. And
Yeah.
we're a much bigger country.
Right.
So
Yes.
there's so many things we could do, but we have to think big. That's my
We
point.
do. That is exactly the what we need to do, and that is exactly what our Democratic leadership needs to hear from us. And so, to Heather Cox Richardson's point, call your legislators,
Yeah.
call your Democratic representatives, and
And-
tell them this is what we need.
Well, we need to demand it before we elect them.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, call now. Like, we have a long summer, and even, beyond that, it should be happening all the time anyway, but particularly now, we have
We need
to
to,
be
as a
doing
matter of
this.
fact, we need to open more departments. What the
Mhm.
Republicans are doing are closing them, like the Department of Education and all these
Yeah.
other departments. We
Mhm.
need to have a department for civil rights.
Yes.
We need to
Yes.
have, we need to think about these
Mhm.
things and stop thinking small,
Mm-hmm.
that somehow everything, the status quo is okay. We're going to just remain stagnant,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Republicans, you know what, they think big.
Sure do. And we need to do the same. So anyway, so we are running out of time here, Anita, but I know we have so much more to talk about on this subject, and we'll keep it rolling. So we will see everybody back here tomorrow for Thursday's daily. Please like and subscribe. What are they supposed to do with the
Look
like
at the
button?
Lego video.
Yeah, what are they
The
supposed to
Lego-
do though with the
You're
with the
supposed
like
to
button?
smash that button.
Yeah, come
Smash
on,
that
smash it,
button.
smash it, and share us, and go to our Patreon page and subscribe. You don't have to give us any money, but if you have a little bit of money and you want to, just show some support, that would be money. No, we don't need. We look,
No,
we
I'm
love. We
kidding.
just want. We just want.
Don't
to get
say
the
we don't
word
need
out.
money. Okay.
Yeah, well, we all need money. Everybody needs money right now. But
I know.
no, but I mean, if you guys can, please get the word out, share, talk to your friends and family,
And
share
smash
us
that
with them, and
button so
smash
that we
that
can get more
button.
people, more subscribers, so we
Yeah,
can get a better place in the algorithm.
yeah, that would
help.
be amazing. That would be fun. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play us out with this Lego video. Have a great day, everybody. You need to have a good day. Stay out of trouble today,
too.
would you please?
I don't know. That's kind of my thing.
I know.
But I'll try not to.
Always looking for trouble, making good
I know.
trouble though.
Making
All
good
right.
trouble. That's right.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so have a good day, everybody. Love ya.
Bye, guys.
Look up at the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, dropping UFO files just to mess with your brain. Blurry little saucers while the economy dies, but you'll keep the Epstein list in the dark with the lies. Yeah, it's the weapon of mass distraction. Look at the stars to avoid the reaction. Keep the fake aliens, we calling your bluff. Show us who went to the island, yeah, we had enough. Mr. President playing hero with a classified stash, but the footage looking like it was recorded on trash. 144 pixels of a smudge in the clouds, and you throwing it like candy to the gullible crowds. Where the real files at? Oh, the CIA tripped you? Dyer stepped in and they suddenly zipped you. No spaceships, no bodies, just a weather balloon. Selling tickets to a movie that is ending too soon. I'm the man of the truth, nah, PR machine. The cheapest magic trick that the world ever seen. Trying to shine a little object so we follow the beam. While you You hide the real monsters in the back of the scene. Bring it back to the ground where the pockets are peaking. Crime on the corner while the podium's speaking. Gas prices up, inflation is wild. So you point at a comment like you tricking the child. And what's this about skipping the midterm votes? Changing up the maps just to keep you afloat. Talking about democracy but rigging the game. Pointing fingers at the world to escape your own blame. You say you want it fair but you alter the lines. American dream looking like a series of crimes. You want us looking up while the country is burning. But the wheels of the truth, yeah, they constantly turn. Look up at the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Dropping UFO files just to mess with your brain. Blurry little saucers while the economy dies. But you keep the Epstein list in the dark with the lies. Yeah, it's the weapon of mass distraction. Look at the stars to avoid the reaction. Keep the fake aliens, we calling your bluff. Show us who went to the island, yeah, we had enough. Now let's cross the Atlantic, look at how you behave. Throwing tantrums globally, putting trust in the grave. Germany speaks up, so you pack up and split. Pulling troops out of spite, cause your ego was hit. A diplomatic child with the button depressed. Turning international relations into a mess. And at the border, yeah, we see the divide. Only white refugees get a ticket inside. Call it what it is, man, a racist agenda. Return to sender, no pretending to mend ya. You're building up walls while you tear down the bridges and hide your dirty secrets in the Hollywood ridges. Look at the sky, ignore the blood on the floor. Look at the sky, ignore the cost of the war. Look at the screen, ignore the man in the cell. Welcome to the shiny little PR hell. Let me speak from Tehran, let me set the record straight. Yeah, we got our own struggles with the bulls of the state. We fight for our freedom, we bleed in the street. But we don't need a savior with an occupying fleet. Keep your missiles, keep your sanctions, keep your bloody liberation. We don't want a US bomb to democratize our nation. The war is going bad for you, the casualties rise. So you threaten escalation, do cover the cries. Sign the deal or we strike, man, you sounding absurd. Hurting your own economy, breaking your word. We defending our soil, we ain't bowing to pressure. Your military might is the failing endeavor. So wrap it all up in a shiny foil package. Use the little green men to cover the damage. You distracting from the war, distracting from the prices, distracting from a nation in a multitude of crises. But the Epstein ghost still knock on the door. The billionaire secrets ain't safe anymore. You can't use the galaxy to run from the truth. Can't bury the corruption, can't silence the youth. From the streets of Iran to your own Capitol dome. The karma that you built is finally coming home. Put the UFOs away, man, the gang is up. We drink in reality, you poison the cup. Look up at the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Dropping UFO files just to mess with your brain. Blurry little saucers while the economy dies. But you keep the Epstein list in the dark with the lies. Yeah, it's the weapon of mass distraction. Look at the stars to avoid the reaction. Keep the fake aliens, we calling your bluff. Show us who went to the island, yeah, we had enough. Yeah, greetings from Iran. We see the shiny object. We ain't looking. Fix your own house before you try to burn ours down. Where's the real files? Yeah, Epstein didn't fade away just cause you showed us a blurry drone. Wake up.